You'll notice he no longer suffers delusions of humanity.
Affirmative.
Has editing your content become a burden, or you just don't have the skill set?
I wish I could focus on content production, but post-editing takes so much time and effort.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll look no further. Here at Asylum 99 Studios, I can help you create professional quality videos that will be sure to captivate viewers. With my creativity and skill, along with your content, assets, and ideas, I can bring your vision into the simulation. I offer the following services: video clipping and organization, content creation, VFX, SFX, and motion graphics, intro and outro assets. Requests may be taken upon further discussion. So if you're a content creator, short on time because you're out living your best life, or you wish you could focus all your energy into producing content, reach out to Asylum 99 Studios today.
What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for?
Don't settle for mediocre videos. Hire me as your freelance video editor and create videos that meet your standards. Asylum 99 Studios. Release your creativity.
What's going on, Ken folks? I just wanted to stop by and talk about, for the probably third or fourth time on this channel, Negroes, Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, and abortion. You know, there's a saying that a lot of sleeping sisters like to say, that black women are the most unprotected class in America. I beg to differ. The most unprotected class in America is the needy children. Because you got all these homicidal skeezers that want to get smashed raw all weekend, and then once they've sobered up, want to realize, oh my God, I participated in a reproductive act, and I'm not responsible enough to be a mother. I need to get rid of this baby. It's a vicious cycle, and we're gonna go into and try to figure out if there's any way to snap y'all up out of y'all coma. So let's take a look.
Earlier this week, I told you about two beautiful young women, Candy Miller and Amber Nicole Thurman, vibrant young moms from Georgia who died preventable deaths, all because their state has one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the country.
Okay. Before we get into this capathon, let's get some things out the way. She's already made the crucial mistake of telling me that these women are from Atlanta.
I declare Atlanta free nation.
You know, Atlanta, where women are like outnumbering men, what is it, like 10 to 1? So let me go out on a limb. Is it not getting the abortion that killed this lady? Or is it her having a tainted womb? In the words of Tony Montana, her womb is so polluted, I can't even have a kid with her, Manny. Right? Like we're gonna assume that these two women are married. We're gonna assume that because it's Atlanta, okay? Ladies, we know what you want to do, or what you think you want to do. But if you ain't married, Are you supposed to be out here getting your cheeks clapped raw? Hold that in mind as we continue.
Candy Miller was left to die alone at home because she was too afraid to seek medical treatment as she suffered through a self-managed abortion.
Man, this is some bullshit. Move this man.
Translation, she either threw herself down the stairs or she used a coat hanger. So, now that we know what her cause of death is, we don't really have to do this video, but y'all know I'm gonna do it anyway. She didn't die from not getting an abortion. Her life was not endangered by the child. The bitch tried to give herself an abortion. Yes, the bitch. The bitch tried to give herself an abortion.
Not call her a bitch.
Say it, bitch. Yeah. Yes, we've got to call her that, Tom. I'm sorry. After what she's done, not calling her a bitch would be disrespectful to you, and I'm not able to do that.
Stupidity has consequences. In her case, she took the ultimate dirt nap. So, off the rip, there is no sympathy in that story from me. You're already pregnant. Woman the fuck up. Cuff your ovaries. Be a woman. That's what, this ain't a sister thing. This is a woman worldwide. These hoes are lazy. Y'all don't want to perform your core function in the dome. And it's not even sickening. It's just a huge disappointment. And I think that y'all so-called sisters need to be ashamed of y'all goddamn selves.
Amber Nicole Thurman went to a hospital, but she was dismissed for 20 hours as she lay in excruciating pain because medical professionals were too afraid to help.
Okay, I see she wanted to gloss over that story. You say she was at the hospital for 20 hours in pain? Is that what she said? So, dare I say, was this woman in labor? And maybe that's why her abortion was denied? This is wild. This is the kind of dishonesty that we're up against, folks. She picked two women and both of those women's lives were not in danger by the baby. They were endangered by said woman's stupidity. Because as a man that's seen the birth of both of his children, if you're having problems getting the baby out, there's a thing, Joy Reid. I don't know if you have ever reproduced, because I'm not even sure you're actually a woman. But it's called a cesarean section. You dumb bitch.
Amber's mom had this message for thousands of Americans.
I want y'all to know Amber was not a statistic.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Yes, she was.
She was loved by a family, a strong family. And we would have done whatever to get my baby, our baby, the help that she needed.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Well, Gladys, the help your daughter needed was a father around the house to keep her fast ass inside instead of being out all over zone 6 or 3 or whatever the fuck you niggas do in Atlanta, getting her cheeks clapped by Gucci Mane. Okay? No, I'm not saying Gucci Mane clapped this woman's cheeks, but you know what I'm saying.
Vice President Kamala Harris met with the family of Amber Nicole Thurman in Michigan on Thursday when they appeared at the Unite America town hall hosted by Oprah Winfrey. Today, Harris honored the lives of Amber and others, but she also laid their deaths squarely at the doorstep of Donald Trump.
So you're trying to tell me it's Donald Trump's fault that these young hoes was out there getting clapped rawski without being prepared to be mothers? That's Donald Trump's fault, right? What world is this? You know? I wake up all the time and I look at what's going on in the world. I'm like, I got to be in the Twilight Zone.
And the 6 conservative Republicans on the Supreme Court who helped expedite it.
Amber's mother, Shanette, told me that the word preventable is over and over again in her head when she learned about how her child died.
Giving the abortion wasn't the preventable factor. Not being a fucking hoe is what makes what happened to this young woman preventable. Well, Rondo, since you fucking know so much, how would you stop women from getting their cheese clapped? Arranged marriage. Problem solved.
This is a healthcare crisis. This is a healthcare crisis, and Donald Trump is the architect of this crisis.
Man, this is some bullshit.
I'm fairly sure when we're out here trying to do backyard abortions before Donald Trump became president, and to say otherwise is very disingenuous and a flat out lie. It's crazy to see some... No, it's not. All these politicians lie. Sorry. I don't know what I was getting ready to say there. Sorry. It's disgusting to see these people get up there and lie about it. That's what I wanted to say.
He brags about overturning Roe v. Wade. In his own words, quote, "I did it and I'm proud to have done it," he says.
Oh my God. He's proud to have prevented us from murdering babies. What a fucking scumbag.
He is proud that women are dying, proud that doctors and nurses could be thrown in prison for administering care.
More dishonesty. They're not being thrown in jail for providing medical care. They're being thrown in jail for murder. And I hope you're going into cell with them, Reshma.
Proud that young women today have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers? How dare he?
I'm trying to figure out if Kamala Harris is stupid or if whoever's writing her cue cards is stupid, because how exactly do young women of 2024 have less rights than their great-grandmothers, their mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers? How is that possible? When their great-grandmammy wasn't even allowed to quote-unquote vote. Because sometimes I don't even think it's just Kamala Harris being stupid. Sisters, don't get offended, but I'm getting ready to say it. 95% of the time that I've ever heard a woman talk, complete nonsense is coming out of her mouth. And that's what we're seeing here with Kamala Harris. It is very rare to hear a woman say anything that I need to be listening to. Okay, I'm married. I got 2 kids. Okay, I'm speaking the truth. See, what really needs to happen, she don't need to be up here on stage. She needs to be in a book club. See, that's what happened. What happened to having sisters in the book clubs? Leave politics to men. Leave running the country to men. Go read a romance novel and go call with your fellow crows about what y'all read and talk about that. Because we let y'all have say in some serious stuff, something serious like your own body. And y'all's grand scheme, grand plan is to desecrate each and every uterus you get your hands on. You know, Chief Red Wolf told us to watch The Handmaid's Tale. I just recently started watching. I'm on like episode 2. And I'm here to tell you today, I am all for having an in-order sister tase the shit out of these hoes until they get their act together.
Harris also took the time to give voice to the millions of American women who are navigating the same lonely, persecuted path. One of those women was Caitlin Joshua, who lives in Louisiana, which happens to have a near total abortion ban.
Now, for those of you who are not new to my channel, this is the young version of Percy Earle and Maybelline. Right here in your face. You see, you know how I know that this is Percy Earl? You see that sweater with the polo collar sticking out? That's all I need to see. Okay? That's all I needed to see. That tells me everything about him and her. That's Percy Earl and Maybelline in their early youth when they first got hitched, right? But I'm interested to see, why are you bleeding and in pain? Is there a problem with your womb? You know, murdering unborn children is never the answer. I think women are trying to blame the fetus for health problems of them being terrible stewards of their Kuda base god, of their Kuda cat. That's a personal opinion, but we're gonna see what's going on over here.
Doctors refused to see her before 12 weeks because, according to an official, too many women miscarry in that period and they didn't want to be held liable.
But if you're an abortion clinic, why would it matter if they miscarry the child if they wanted to abort the child? It's a sick world, man.
It was then that she started having problems. While at the hospital, she realized she was miscarrying, but the hospital staff left her in the dark about what was happening and gave her no options. She went home, but when the pain and bleeding became so severe, she went to another hospital, but was also refused care.
Why are y'all going to a hospital? I thought that's what Planned Parenthood was for. Second, who would send a woman home who's in the middle of the act of miscarriage? I smell cap. I smell lies. I smell deception. And I see a monkey-faced bitch on my screen.
Because they didn't want to be investigated for facilitating an abortion. Caitlin and her husband were left demoralized and angry by the experience. She had to mourn the loss, but thankfully she survived, but with little faith in the
Time out, bro. Time out. Wait a minute. Why is she mourning a baby she wanted to abort? I don't understand. This story is so convoluted. So you're telling me the hospital wanted to save you from miscarrying a baby you wanted to abort, and then you had to mourn the death through miscarriage of a baby that you wanted to abort. Clown World, Twilight Zone. Beam me up, Scotty.
Man, this is some bullshit.
American medical system, courtesy of Donald Trump. Caitlin Joshua joins me now. She is traveling the country on behalf of the Harris Walz campaign.
And there it is, what this was all about. She's a figurehead for genocidal Negroes. Yes, I said it. You have the target of Planned Parenthood carrying out the propaganda to infect the masses of her so-called sisters to rise up and destroy our futures by aborting our young ones. But will simultaneously say they are for us and they like us and all that other fucking hotep bullshit. I'm gonna say it once more. You want to know what happened to the so-called community? Find the Negra closest to you and ask her. Because these are the ones with the blood on their hands. The American Negro has the blood of the so-called Negro community on their hands. You will not lay this at Tyrone's feet. You will not lay this at my feet. And it's just despicable that you laid it at Donald Trump's feet.
Caitlin, thank you so much for being here. I recall your speech at the DNC and then rereading your story. It was horrifying all over again. And I just want you to just voice for people who don't understand, you know, how it feels to be a woman pregnant. You know you're pregnant, you're about 8 weeks pregnant. You go to a clinic and they say, we don't even want to see you because of this state's abortion ban.
Yes, and thank you again for having me tonight. And the best way I can put it into words is it is extremely demoralizing. It's very difficult to accept the fact that we live in a post-Roe society that is putting up barriers for women to seek basic maternal health care.
Margaret Sanger is shaking her saggy booty, twerking, shuffling her saggy ass in hell at what we're listening to right now. That bitch is hitting a end zone touchdown dance. Now, I don't think ever in Margaret Sanger's wildest dreams did she ever think she was going to get niggers to carry out her plan for her autonomously. This lady and all women who support her are a fucking disgrace.
Less abortion care. In that moment when my husband and I found ourselves in a healthcare crisis and I'm trying to navigate this system, I don't have a medical background. I'm seeking help from a physician because I know they have the expertise and training to be able to handle my miscarriage. And in that moment I saw, and still I'm hearing about these stories coming out of the Deep South today, as we've heard these recent stories of 2 women who lost their lives as a result of Trump's national
There they go again, trying to shoehorn that bullshit in there. It is not Donald Trump's fault that young hoe stuck a coat hanger up her cootie cat, okay? All right? We're not going to do that. That is some of the most dishonest shit I've seen today.
Trump's abortion ban that is existing in 22 states. And so we know that if we don't do the work this fall to be able to vote on reproductive freedom, we will see this ban take effect all over this country. And this is just a stark reality of what could happen. My story, Amber's story, the other young lady's story, this is very much indicative of what can potentially happen in our country if we allow it.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. Cut that bitch off.
Voting on reproductive freedom. You weren't free when you was throwing that ass back? Raw? You weren't free then? That wasn't reproductive freedom? You know, you had the freedom to not get knocked up, but you know, you're married. You kind of, you know, you got all this stuff, but your first response is kill it. Kill it. Y'all got to do better than that, because reproductive freedom would be the freedom to reproduce. Abortion isn't reproduction. It's division. It's a deduction. But I guess when you live in, as Chief Redwood likes to call it, an inverted society, down is up and up is down.
And I will say that, you know, you are so lucky to be alive because Black women already suffer disproportionately death during childbirth and during pregnancy. So you are very, very lucky, particularly in a state like Louisiana that has fewer and fewer OBGYNs. Doctors are leaving that state. The state's abortion ban is so strict, it's even hard to find a hospital. Do you see the impact just among your friends, people you know, of just not being able to even find a doctor who even will work in the state of Louisiana at this point?
Okay, I hope y'all saw that. The way she worded that is, there's no doctors in Louisiana at all. Your healthcare is dire straits. What she really wants to say is there are no abortionists in Louisiana, okay? That's what she wants to say. You see, I have a little bit more respect for these people if they really just came out and said what it was instead of trying to play with us and shuck and jive and put on a show. That's what pisses me off.
Yes, I think that is the most disappointing and uninspiring part of this story, right? The story continues. We may have seen overturn of Roe v. Wade 2 years ago, and then...
And another thing, she don't sound like any Louisiana sister I've ever heard talk. Just an observation.
Of course, my state's trigger ban immediately came into effect, but the women that look like me are being disproportionately affected by these laws, these very egregious laws. And when you take a state like Louisiana and across all 64 parishes, we already have maternity care deserts. When you add that layered issue with an abortion ban on top of Black maternal health.
What is a maternity care desert? Are you trying to insinuate that hospitals don't tend to pregnant women and mothers? Or are you just trying to veil that they ain't going to give you an abortion in Louisiana?
Black maternal health care statistics already being so starkly alarming in our state. You're talking about a healthcare crisis that is unimaginable, that no one should have to face. And so I worry for my girlfriends who are currently pregnant, who contact me all the time and ask for, different ways to navigate the system or advice on this or that. And my heart goes out to them. And there isn't much for me to be able to provide them outside of, kind of what to look for, how to, get ahead of your healthcare. But why should we have to do that as pregnant people that are just seeking care?
Man, this is some bullshit.
Let me stop it right there. You almost got away with that. There's no such thing as pregnant people. There's only pregnant women.
Is something that every single woman in this country deserves to be able to have at their disposal.
Yeah, and I wonder, and this is the thing I always wonder about, whether folks are identifying where to place the blame.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. Cut that bitch off.
I know exactly where the blame goes. At the feet of you hoes. That's where the blame goes. You the one with the wound. But we all know what they're going to do. They're going to blame Donald Trump and they're going to blame Tyrone for their own actions.
Georgia passed a 6-week abortion ban, or a 6-week abortion ban, a trigger ban went into law there. There was no punishment for Brian Kemp or the Republican legislators who did that. They got easily reelected. And people even praised Brian Kemp for standing up to Donald Trump on occasion. In your state, voter turnout, I say this all the time, was 23% when Landry got elected governor, knowing that he was a fierce opponent of a woman having control of her own body.
We quote unquote, because I feel like there's so much cat going on within this and that's too layered to get into right now, but are we really going to sit there and pretend like giving you women, you modern women, not your grandmammy, not your mammy, your mammy's mammy's mammy, you crop of women today, we gave y'all autonomy, quote unquote, we gave y'all, the patriarchy, autonomy over your body. And your ultimate goal, like I said at the beginning of the video, was to have the right to kill your children because you want to keep going out and having hot girls. Or you want to keep going out to drink. Or you want to keep going out to do all this dumb shit. It's vile and disgusting. So brothers, the next time a sister tries to tell you it's your fault the community ain't shit, I want you to throw that right back in their face and tell them y'all the ones committing genocide against the community. It's not me. I don't know any brothers talking around. Let me be specific. Yes, some punk ass ninjas gonna be running around telling you to get an abortion, but ma'am, you should not be letting that man clap your cheeks. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's a you problem. But for upstanding brothers, ain't no upstanding brother gonna tell you to get an abortion. Stop it. Well, y'all heard it for yourself. I, for one, don't ever want to hear any sisters anywhere talking about what brothers did to destroy the community. Because, let's be clear about something. The brothers that are destroying the community were raised by these irresponsible Negroes who thought they could do it without a man. Okay? Y'all the why the block's getting shot up, the block's getting spun, and the drugs getting pushed. Okay? On top of that, y'all got all these abortions. Sisters killed the community, and it's not even close. And we don't have a chance at bouncing back unless women are checked. But there's a new emerging problem. This is not all older women, but there's becoming an alarming increase in older women trying to participate in modern young women foolishness. So if the so-called big mamas are out here at the King of Diamonds shaking their ass for singles. What can we expect from the future generations of women? I'm here to tell you today, brothers, if we don't get these women back in shape, or excuse me, sisters, older sisters with some sense, if y'all don't get these women back in shape, it's gonna be real bad out here for everybody. But with that said, I ain't gonna beat the sisters upside the head too much, but I just gotta keep addressing it until some headway's made. So until then, I'm gonna get with y'all next time. Peace.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
I am a human being. I exist.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions.
Send the word.